Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jackson. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm taking today a little bit easy. Not going to wear the sunglasses only because if I do, there's a chance I might fall asleep. There have been days in the past when I've worn the sunglasses and it was late enough in the day that it made my room dark and I was sleepy. Simple. Finished day 2 of the seminar that I've been crewing. And let me tell you, I didn't think it could get much better than the first day, but I always think that, and then I always get my mind blown. Biggest takeaways of this event called RPM is just how powerful this method of honestly managing my life can be. They call this a life management tool, not just a time management tool. And seeing it in action, seeing what it can do for people is just out of this world. I really do see that when I come out of this event, even though I'm in it from a volunteer role, I've still learned so much. I know that my life is going to ramp up in speed. It might not be automatically. To a degree, it will. I will be able to get more done in less time. And it's not about just getting more done in less time, but it's about getting the things done in our lives that really matter, that really make a difference. One of the key distinctions is when you make your list, when you have everything in your capture list, you chunk it, you split it up, you put it into sections, and then you decide what's a must, like what needs to happen and what's more of a, it'll help, but it's not the needle mover. Seeing the difference between the must, which make up about 20% of everything in a category, versus the whole category itself is crazy. Like you can get 80% of the way there just on those 20%. We call it the 80-20 rule. There's many areas in life where 20% of the things that you have to do will get you 80% of the results. It's this focus that sometimes, or maybe more accurately, many times, people are focused on the 80%, the things that they think will get them to move forward. But in reality, don't do that much because they're avoiding the 1, 2, or 3 big things that'll actually make the most progress. We avoid those things because we're afraid of them. We're nervous because of them, we're anxious because of them, or maybe we're overwhelmed because of them. We think it's much bigger than it actually is. And anyways, with these past 2 days, I'm learning just how much of life can really be simplified, boiled down into the musts, into the most important things. And not just the most important things, but the things that light up my soul. The way to decide what's a must is based on what's going to fill you up the most. Because when you fill yourself up, when you feel good with what you're doing, you're going to be more efficient, you're going to be more productive, you're going to feel more energized, and that's going to build momentum for you to go even further. I think that's how we get more done. I love this line that was said before, which is what makes people stressed and exhausted isn't activity or isn't being too busy. Activity without purpose. That's what drains us. That's what makes us feel like, oh gosh, we have to do this again, or makes us just dread waking up in the morning or starting the next work week because we don't know what our purpose is. And there's a lot of lip service to purpose out there right now, but purpose is really simple. Purpose is your reason why. That's all it is. Purpose is just a reason. I admit, I used to be one of those people who was on the hunt for their purpose. But as I've heard Tony Robbins say, who's to say that you don't have more than one purpose? If a purpose is just a reason, you can have multiple reasons for doing something, pursuing something, wanting something. So we use the language purpose, but in reality, it's just the reason that lights you up inside, that gets you to want to achieve a certain result, a certain outcome. That was a bit of a reframe for me, just redefining what the word purpose means and seeing that, my purpose could be something so simple. Like I could say one of my purposes in life is to see people smile. I like to see people smile. When they smile, I feel good. So one of the reasons that I can do whatever it is that I want to do in my life is because I want to see someone smile. The result I may want to see is I make someone laugh, or I help them experience a vacation or a restaurant they've never experienced before, simply so that I can see them smile. That's my reason why. And I have so many other reasons for so many other areas of my life. I can have a different purpose for why I exercise. I have a different purpose for why I make this content. I have a different purpose for how I interact with my friends and family and loved ones. As of right now, I've chosen to have about 6 main categories in my life, and I know that's going to grow. And I chose 6 because right now those are the 6 areas that I'm really focused on right now. And I don't want to overwhelm myself. I don't want to give myself 12 or 15 categories only to get lost in the sauce, as I'd say. Within today's super fun-filled, jam-packed day of content, I heard this great line as well. You may not get your goal, you may not get your dream, but if you keep going, if you persist, you'll get to your destiny. Have you ever realized how similar the word destiny and destination are? Our destiny is not some spiritual woo-woo idea. It's just the place, the being that we're meant to get to. It's our destination for our lives. I believe we have our goals, we have our dreams, we have our desires to help us reach our destiny. But that doesn't mean we're going to get those goals and dreams. It doesn't mean we're going to fulfill those desires. I come on here a lot and I speak a lot about goals and dreams, and maybe for some people this will sound maybe antithetical to what I usually talk about, maybe a little bit hypocritical, but I see it as actually congruent to what I believe. I've always believed that everything happens for a reason, and I'm pursuing my goals and my dreams not for the sake of achieving them, but for the sake of who I get to become in the pursuit of them. So I'm looking, I'm searching, I'm fighting, I am taking action, not because I think this goal will make me feel a certain way, but because I know that the person I'm becoming in the process is the person I'm meant to become. I'm more confident in that fact than I am in the fact that I think YouTube success will bring me happiness or fulfillment. No, I think the reality is I'm going to be surprised where I am 5 years from now. I think the reality is I have absolutely no clue what my life will look like 5 years from now. If you asked me 5 years ago about my life right now, I would have told you for sure that I would have graduated college, I would have a job, I'd be moved halfway across the country, maybe I would have a girlfriend, a wife, maybe even the inklings, the starts of having a kid, whatever that may mean, and none of those things happened. But that doesn't mean there's any regret that I have. It only means that if I was so wrong 5 years ago, who's to say that my goals, my dreams, my desires, what I think my future is going to look like now will be how it actually looks like in the future. You know, most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. So I 100% think I'm going to get much further 1 year from now than I actually am. But I think what people do is they add years together and they say, oh, I'll get a little bit further this year and a little bit further the next year and a little bit further the year after that. But in reality, it's more exponential, where the first 2-3 years, it doesn't grow that much, but you hit 3, 4, 5 years and you are skyrocketing. You hit 10 years, you are through the roof from what you believed your life would look like. I'm here to make progress every single day. I'm learning what I can now so that I can continue making progress. There's days these past 7 months where I've shown up only to make one video that day. That's all I did that day. Other than that, I would lay in bed, I would play video games, I would watch shows. I'd pretty much just rot because I was scared, because I was overwhelmed, I was lonely. But I knew in that moment I was showing up, doing this one thing, because that's what I was called to do. That's what I meant to do. It's led me to today. And I know now that I can do so much more because I can give myself the fuel to get up out of bed. I could give myself the fuel to put a smile on my face and perform and achieve and celebrate in the ways that I deserve to. There's something about being in this environment that does just light me up. And as of right now, I don't have anything planned for the future. I don't have further events scheduled, and something tells me I gotta get that on my calendar, because even though I go into the events wondering, what am I doing here? Why am I here? I need to take a break. Why do I keep doing this to myself? It takes about half a day at most before I remember exactly why it is that I'm here. These serve as reminders for me. It's a reminder to serve, to give, to be around other people who think the way I do, who act the way I do, who believe the things that I believe in, and who want better for themselves. It's really easy to remain in your silos, in your circles where everybody is like you. And I did that for a while, but then I realized that I wanted to be different. I wanted to reach a different level of life. So what did I have to do? I had to find other people like that. These events, these communities that I'm a part of are like that. They are at a different level than I am. And even within the communities, there are higher and higher levels to get to. I plan to grow because I plan to level up my life. I could have been the same person I was 3, 4, 5 years ago, but that wasn't fulfilling me. If I really remember back then, I was at my most depressed, most anxious, and most unhappy. Now, I may have a lot of uncertainty in certain areas of my life, but at the very least, I feel fulfilled doing what I'm doing. I know I'm in the right place. And that type of certainty, that type of comfort in believing in yourself is something I've never felt in my life before. So if it's working so far, why not keep going? So as you can tell, I'm very driven right now. I'm very energetic, even though it's late at night. For me, I'm just really grateful. I am. I also know that I'm going to rewatch this in the future with a huge grin on my face. These videos, they are my diary. They show me what I'm thinking of, what my mood is that day, what I think about the world and my work, and I just know from experience already, the quality of my videos and the content within the videos has improved. I've been showing up differently. I've been caring more. I know I'm going to cringe listening to the beginning episodes of this year, but that's the point. I need to sit there. I need to re-experience that so that I can really see the growth that I'm making every single day, every single year. Growth happens whether we like it or not. And if we're not growing, we're dying. I plan to grow for every single day of my life. That's where I'm at right now, and that's where I will be whenever you see me, whenever you meet me in the future. So I genuinely hope to see you and to meet you there. For tonight, I'm signing off, wishing you a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your night, whatever it may be for you. And I truly, deeply, profoundly hope that you remember to fill up with the love. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one. I love you.